Hello and welcome. In this video we're going to be discussing Trouble Bubbles and all of his counter plays. So I've been reading a lot of discussions and threads about Bubba being so overpowered and how much people are struggling with him. So I thought I'd share my tips and tricks on how to actually beat this big behemoth of a man. So the key to beating any killer in Dead by Daylight is to understand their power. Bubba has a pretty simple power and I'll break it down for you now. Big Bubba, the annoying cannibal, has a big chainsaw, and the big chainsaw goes vroom vroom. Chubba Bubba hits you with said chainsaw. Happy Bubba. Now obviously Bubba's power is a little more intricate to that and it has a little bit more to it. But the main thing that you need to know is if he bumps into a wall or any other sort of object when he's chasing you, he will throw a tantrum. This is where a lot of the counter plays come into versus Bubba's. Bubbas need a lot of wide open space to roam around in. A good Bubba is not a caged Bubba, but what we're going to talk about is how to cage the Bubs. So I'll run you through a variety of different scenarios that you'll find yourself in with Trouble Bubbles, and I'll break them down, let you know what I've done, why I've done it, and how it counters Bubba's power. So the first encounter with Bubba that I have is I run into him in a corridor. He starts to rev his chainsaw, ready for the attack, and I make a beeline straight for the nearest room that I know is enclosed and has a lot of obstacles that I can possibly make him bump into. Now the next thing you'll notice is how tightly I'm running against the wall and the obstacles that are in my way. The reason that I'm doing this is because it forces Bubba to run just as closely to them as me. And the good thing about that is he runs the risk of accidentally nudging his mouse or controller and taking a hit and a stun from knocking into the obstacle. So in this clip you can see just how close up my arse Bubba is, and by taking the closest route to the wall possible I managed to get him to run into a locker and just stand and stare at him and laugh really. So Bubba's chainsaw is what makes him powerful, and what you want to try and do is you want to disallow him to be able to use that chainsaw. The way you do that is basically how I've told you, hugging walls, staying tight to them and using windows effectively. You want to try and force him to use his M1 attack. The reason you want to try that is because then it just becomes a redundant killer with a shit power who's slightly faster than most other killers. Just like here. I take the window, and the reason being I knew he would go for the M1. I narrowly avoided it, which was quite lucky, but I never gave him a chance to charge that chainsaw and insta-down me.
Fucking disgusting.
So there will be times that Bubba manages to get the drop on you, just like here, and catch you out in an open place where you think you've got nowhere to run. You don't necessarily need anywhere specific like a loop or anything like that. You can just use the obstacles around you to your advantage. Countering Bubba is all about just prolonging that M2 attack and not letting him get the chainsaw on you, because that's what he really wants. He really wants the chainsaw. He needs the chainsaw to cut down the chase time, and if you force him to M1 you can't really do anything. So we've spoke a lot about countering Bubba's power and how to counter it, what techniques to use, but what we haven't spoke about is the perks that Bubbas can run to make their power even harder to get away from. It doesn't make it impossible, it just means you have to be a little bit smarter about the way you play your game. So one of the more difficult perks to counter that Bubbas can use is bamboozle. If you're unfamiliar with what bamboozle does, is when a killer vaults the window, they'll vault it quicker. They'll also block the window behind them so that you can't re-vault it. This makes it more difficult to play against Bubba because you're probably going to want to take that window a second time, just like I wanted to there, but Bubba managed to catch up. By following the strategy that I gave you earlier, just hugging tight to the walls, I actually managed to prolong my life for a little bit longer, but he does inevitably get me in the window. So Bubba lured me into his trap and I fell for it because I'm a big dum-dum, and that's what a lot of Bubbas are going to rely on. But there is things you can do to outsmart them and get away from them in the chase, even with a blocked window. This is where chain and loops comes into things. And chaining loops is basically running from one loop to the next loop and waiting the 20-30 seconds for bamboozle to disappear, taking them back to the loop and just rinse and repeat. So as you can see from this clip, I'm just making it as hard as possible for this Bubba to pull off the chainsaw on me. I'm not allowing him to charge it, and when he is getting to charge it, I'm making sure that I'm hugging the wall so tightly that he can't corner them correctly. So he does block me out of the window here, which was a really good play from the Bubba. But just by sticking to his counter plays, I managed to avoid the chainsaw and live to die another day. Like with any killer, you should never ever take your chances. And if they get a stun and you get the chance, run to another loop. Just run for distance, which is exactly what I chose to do with Bubba here. And chain back into the shack loop. So with Bubba, it's always a very good idea to be a little bit more conservative with the pallets, because he does have an instant break on the pallets if you drop them too early, and he'll just catch straight up there and manage to get that chainsaw that you're trying to avoid. So don't be greedy, but do be conservative and wait for the right moment to try and hit them with the correct stun when they're not charging the chainsaw. You do need to be careful on where you try to lead Bubba. You do need to make sure that you're in a section of the map that does have multiple loops available to chain him through, because Bubba will just try to mind game you and get that inevitable chainsaw. As you can see here, I'm using a couple of T&L walls and the shack just to run him around and give myself plenty of distance, plenty of safe windows to vault through if he tries to get that chainsaw charge on me. So that's everything for this video. That's everything that I really struggled with when I first started playing Dead by Daylight and came up against fucking Fathead McGee. If I have missed anything, just leave it in the comments and I'll reply back to you and try to give you a little bit more knowledge. Leave it a like if it actually helped you.